Hello to my wonderful amazing friends here on YouTube. I have the coolest video today. So I have another dupes video for you guys, and as you know, the Kylie Cosmetics Kyshadow sold out in minutes. I couldn't get my hands on it, so I was searching through my whole entire makeup collection to try and find some awesome dupes, and I have found dupes. I have found dupes, everyone. Upside down, apologies. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amelia. Make sure to subscribe so we can hang out and talk about cool makeup and beauty stuff. That would be totally awesome. I'm also running a giveaway at the moment if you want to check it out. It was my previous video, but for now, let's get right into this video. So, I have found a fair amount of dupes for everyone. So, if you guys don't have this in your collection, then it's time to go shopping. I have found more than one dupe for at least every single shade in the palette. If you guys do happen to have these palettes, in particular I highly recommend the Morphe 350 Matte and Shimmer palettes. If you guys do have these palettes, then there is no need in my opinion for you to grab the Kyshadow. Unless you do really want to support Kylie and her brand and you really just want it in your collection because it's gorgeous and beautiful. So I'm going to begin with the Shaaanxo BH Cosmetics palette. There is a lot of talk about this being like a total copy and a mimic of this palette, so I did put it to the test against pictures of swatches. So in addressing the Shaaanxo BH Cosmetics palette, it does look very similar, doesn't it? It looks like it's pretty much identical packaging. However, when it comes to the shadows, they aren't completely identical at all. That's the lipstick side. There we go. So when comparing and swatching, I only found 5 similar shades. Keyword, similar. There are way better dupes out there than this palette. So the dupe for Jasper is this one right here. It is the top shade in the corner. I think it is very similar, if not identical. In the swatches, the pictures look as though the Jasper is quite more intense than this shade here. Moving on to Goldstone here, the Shaaanxo palette seems to have a bit more of a brown undertone, whereas the Kyshadow seems to appear that it has a more golden undertone. However, they are very similar. So the dupe for Coutine, is that how you say it? Oh no, I'm going to struggle throughout the whole entire video, so apologies for my pronunciation. So the dupe for Citrine, I only call it Citrine for now, is this shade right here, is a similar dupe for it. It is similar in that it is a great transition shade. However, this Shaaanxo one seems to have more of a yellow undertone, whereas the Kyshadow seems to have more of an orangey umber undertone to it. The next similar shadow is Hermione, another one I cannot pronounce, but it was this one here. It is similar again. However, the Shaaanxo palette seems to have more of a red umber undertone to it, whereas the Kyshadow seems to have more of a brown undertone to it. But it is similar. The last dupe that I found is the Obsidian dupe, which is this one right here. It is just a matte black shade, so it's going to be identical. Any matte black shade will be probably identical to it. But yeah, that is the only dupes I could find in this palette that I thought were close, and they are just that. They are close. They're not identical. So now we're going to move on to ones that are pretty much identical to the Kyshadow. I just wanted to address this because I know a lot of people have been speaking about it. So we're done with that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin with dupes that you may not have heard of just yet. Obviously the Morphe 350 has been a well-known dupe for it. I'll get into that last, but firstly I want to show you ones that people may not have spoken about just yet. So moving on here, I have the Maybelline The Nudes palette. Again, in this palette, I only found about 5 dupes out of the 9 for the Kyshadow. So this is the palette right here. Firstly, we have the dupe for Jasper, which is this one right here. This one seems to have more of a creamy, warmer undertone than the Kyshadow palette, but it is very similar. For Quartz, we have Row 1 Second Shadow. This one here seems to have more of a cooler tone, a purpley tone to it than the Kyshadow palette. For Topaz, we have found this one here. This one, in my opinion, is identical to the Kyshadow Topaz. For Goldstone, what I'm factoring is mixing 2 shades which look identical to Goldstone. So the 2 that can be mixed together is Row 1 4th shade, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one right here with this one right here. So these 2 right here mixed together look identical to Goldstone. The last dupe I found was of course the Matte Black, which is right here. Say no more, Obsidian, Matte Black, identical. That is it for the Maybelline The Nudes palette. Moving on to the next palette is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. In this palette I found 7 out of the 9 dupes. Oh my god, I can smell the palette from here, it smells amazing. It smells so good. So the first one is For Jasper, the dupe is this one here, which is called Coconut Cream. Pretty much identical dupe right there. In my opinion, all the dupes found in this palette right here are in fact pretty much identical dupes. The next dupe is for Quartz, and the dupe for that is Bonbon. Identical shade, it is this one right here. For Topaz, I believe Caramel is identical to it, which is this one right here. For Goldstone, again, I am mixing two of the shades, which are these two right here, Frosting and Caramel. And I believe mixed together they are absolutely identical to Goldstone. In Citrine, I believe Peanut Butter is pretty much identical to the Kyshadow, this one right here. For Tiger Eye, I feel like Truffles is pretty much identical, which is this one right here. The last dupe found was of course Obsidian, which is Licorice right here. Matte black shade, identical. So that is the dupes for the Semi-Sweet palette. Like I said, I think they are super close to identical. I'm moving on to Makeup Geek now. I highly believe that Makeup Geek will have dupes for all of the shades. However, I'm just going to begin with the starter pack. So the starter pack has 9 shades. And I believe there are only 3 dupes in this 9 pack. So we have Obsidian, which is Corrupt in Makeup Geek. Again, matte black, identical. Homite, which I think is very similar to Cocoa Bear, if not identical to it. This one right here. And for Topaz, I think Mocha is the most similar shade possible, which is this one right here. So those are the 3 dupes found in the starter pack. So I hope those dupes are something that you may not have thought of just yet. But now I'm going to move on to the most obvious dupes, which is the Morphe 350 Matte and Shimmer palettes. These are the best. I'm doing a demo on these in the next couple of minutes to show you how it looks on, which is this makeup look here. Totally identical in my opinion. So running through the shades with you in order, I'm going to begin with the Morphe 350 Matte palette. I believe Jasper is similar to Row 1 Shade 1, which is right here. And then moving on to the Morphe 350 Shimmer palette for Quartz, I believe Row 2 Shade 4 is the most identical to it. So this one right here. Onto the next shade is Topaz, and again we're moving back to the 350 Matte palette, which I believe is Row 4 Shade 4, which is this one right here. I think it's identical. Going back to the Morphe 350 Shimmer palette now to find Goldstone dupe, which I believe is Row 4 Shade number 2, which is this one right here. Finally moving back to the 350 Matte palette again. Sorry, I'm going in order so it sort of all matches up nicely. Going into Citrine, whatever it is. Row 2 5th shade, which is this really beautiful orange one right here. I think it is identical to the Kylie one, in my opinion. Moving on to Tiger Eye, Row 4, shadow number 2, which is this one right here. I believe is pretty much identical again. Moving on to Homite, I don't know what it is. But row number 3, shadow number 5, I think is identical. Bronzite, row 5, number 3, I think is identical as well. And finally, Obsidian, which is NA in this one because there is no matte black. Whew, that was a lot to get through. So I hope you found some extra dupes that you may have in your collection in case you don't have Kyshadow just yet, or you don't want to get it, you want to find dupes for it. I hope that makes you happy. Coming up now is a demonstration of me using the dupes, which is this makeup look that I'm wearing on my face. And I also incorporated a couple of techniques that Kylie Jenner has used that I've seen her use on herself when applying makeup. Okay, so I've already done my foundation and my eyebrows and my highlighter and everything and the blush and whatever because I'm doing a first impression review on the NARS She Glow foundation. So that will be up next video. I know I'm really late, but I finally got it. I'm a little late for the bandwagon, but don't worry, I'm finally on it. So, to do the dupes of the Kylie Jenner Kyshadow, I will be using my Morphe 350 Matte and Shimmer palette, which looks like this. Just so you can see just how close it really is. So to begin, I'm going to be using the dupe for Jasper, which is this very first top shade here. I'm going to be popping that all over the lid. So next I will be going in with the dupe for Citrine, I don't know how to say it. So I'm just going to be picking up this one here, which is row 2 5th shade. Just keep in mind that these shadows are super duper pigmented. I just picked up way too much. on the brush. I'm going to work that into the crease area and also push it up into the transition shade area. So now I'm going to go in with the dupe for Tiger Eye, and I'm just going to pop that in the crease again. So this is going to be for row number 4, shadow number 2, so this one here. I'm going to begin to focus that on the outer V area and then push it into the crease. I'm also going to pat some of that just on this sort of outer half of the eyelid. So I'm then going to go in with Morphe. Why do they make things so difficult to pronounce? Oh, so I'm going to go in with that shade. And the dupe for that is row 3, shade number 5, which is this one right here. And that one is going to be concentrated again in the outer V and also pushing it up into the crease area. Alright, so to darken up that crease area and give it some more dimension, I'm going in with the dupe for Bronzite, row number 5, 3rd shade, which is this one here. And that's really going to be concentrated on the outer V area. I really wanted to show you what most of the colours look like on, so you can in fact see just how similar they really are. And with a big fluffy blender with a big fluffy blender brush, I'm going to blend all that in. So now I'm grabbing my Morphe 350 Shimmer Palette, and I'm going to go in with the dupe for Goldstone, which is row 4, shade number 2, which is this one right here. And with a flat brush, I'm going to tap it right on the center of the lid. I'm also going to push it down and into the very inner corners of the eye as well. Alright, and the last thing I'm going to do is one thing that I've seen Kylie likes to do with her eyeshadow, so I'm going to take some inspiration from her. I'm going to go in with the dupe for Bronzite. I'm going to push it onto the lash line. I'm going to tidy it up with a bit of concealer. Not too much because I want it to still look quite nice and smoky. Now for the bottom lash line, again I'm going in with the dupe for Bronzite. I'm really smoking it out. To really make things pop, I'm going to go in with the dupe for Quart, which is row 2, 4th shade, and I'm going to pop it in the inner part of my corner of my and I'm going to go in and I'm going to put it on the inner corner of my eye to really make things pop. I'm really loving this eyeshadow look. I haven't really done anything this smoky before and I really like it. Also with the Quartz shade, I'm going to pop a bit on my brow bone to highlight it. Best dupes ever, just saying. Alright, so now I'm just going to take some mascara. This is the Maybelline Colossal Volume Mascara. And I'm also going to pop on some lashes to complete the look. Also, before I forget, I'm going to go in with a nude pencil and pop it on my waterline. I'm going to go in with the Socialize Ravishing. Sorry, the pack is upside down. I'm going to go in with Ravishing and pop it on my eyes. While I'm waiting for the lash glue to dry, I'm going to pop on some lip gloss. And this lip gloss is a dupe in my latest Kylie Jenner dupes for her lip gloss line. And this is the dupe for So Cute. I will link the video down the bottom and also put a card in here if I remember. I've got a bad memory. And yeah, so I've found dupes for all of them as well. So I'm going to pop that on now. Alright, so I've changed my mind about the lip gloss. I thought it was a bit too light. So now I'm going to go in with Jeffree Star in Mannequin and cross that over with Kylie Cosmetics Nude Lip Gloss, which this lip gloss is a dupe for literally in the Kylie Jenner Cosmetics lip gloss line. This is what Jeffree Star Mannequin looks like alone. I'm going to wait for that to dry and then put over the Kylie Cosmetics Nude Lip Gloss. Okay guys, so that completes this dupes video and demonstration video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for popping into my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys. Okay you guys, so that completes. Do I have lipstick in my teeth again? Oh my god. Hey look, there's my face. Is that kind of creepy? Oh my god, how creepy is that? That is the creepiest thing ever. Moving on. Start again. Scrap all that before. Alright, so now I'm picking up my... Oh my god. Don't fall out.